Yep, the the version of the gunshot I have is still very glitchy. Okay. Hello and welcome to No CB, a Grand Strategy podcast. This is for the week of the 8th of December, 2021. It's our second to last show of 2021. I am Len, your host, and I am here today with Rose. And Lambert. Yeah, Lambert and Loris, yeah, they're in the black hole this week. Um they've vanished before our eyes. Um and Oh, well, I have desktop audio turned on, but I was worried. Okay, try talking now. Okay, so desktop audio is not working. Okay, try it now.
Hey there.
There we go. Okay.
Hey.
I think this happened like the last 3 times I tried to host too, and I forgot that I need to change that. It's because I used the SteelSeries game DAC thing. So it creates 2 separate audio channels for like Discord and gameplay, and I have to tell OBS to listen to the chat channel, not the gameplay channel, and that's what it always ends up messing it up. But Rose is here, yes.
Yes, and there's no face cam.
Yeah, I don't even have a template for 2 webcams, and I was like, I could yell at Loris about it and see if he has
We could do 3 and just put the black hole.
We could, yeah. Yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter show today because there's not a lot of new stuff to talk about either.
Though, as Steve is pointing out in chat, there is something new and saying congrats, thank you.
Yeah, do you want to announce that now?
Sure. You want to show the tweet?
Yeah, let me let's see, is it in chat? Let me see if I can find it. There's
That's
the old one.
Old one here.
Yeah.
There it is.
Pull that up.
Glorious tweet.
That I'm sharing. Oh, big surprise, by the way, for our longtime listeners here.
Well, it's rather fitting considering 2 years ago when we started this podcast, I was pregnant with the rosebud.
Now the share browser isn't working. This is great. Okay, okay, I'll just do full screen. That's right, everybody. I finally changed Twitter to dark mode.
Yay!
No, that's not the real news.
If you click the image, it'll get bigger because it's so. I'm so deserving of double the work.
Did you make that? Did you make that in the Coat of Arms designer, or did you Photoshop that?
No. One of my moderators, Akia, designed it, and then
nice.
Another one, my moderator and editor, Daddy McBoy, cleaned it up, and then he did all the editing for this. I literally just took pictures of myself in the rosebud.
That's awesome. So yeah, now you do have to worry about Gavelkind split, though. Do you have any idea how you're gonna manage that?
Yeah, that's their problem.
They can figure out which rooms in the house go to each of them eventually. Yeah. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll have many more years to come of baby related chaos to.
Oh, I'm sure through the summer you'll hear baby coos and stuff as I wear them on the carrier.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest personal news that that happened this week. The biggest Paradox related news is that we got to see how peace deals are going to work in Victoria 3. Lambert is not here to break it down in detail. I believe he did do a video on it, though. I haven't watched it yet.
Well, you can break it down, Leanna. We have faith in you.
Yeah, I read this like a week ago, so I'm a little bit fuzzy on it. But basically, there's a war support system. If people die, that lowers your war support. If your economy is tanking because of the war, that can also hurt your war support. So I'm assuming that's like you've sent too many people off to war, so nobody's in the factories making stuff that people want, and their standard of living is falling, which would make sense. And then war goals. Um, and if you hit minus 100, you have to capitulate. So, sort of one of the strategic decisions you'll have to make is, if it looks like you're on the way to capitulating, when do you peace out? How do you peace out? Stuff like that. I
Like
think
Stellaris makes you peace out at a minus 100 war support.
right, yeah, or at least I think the as a player you'll be forced to peace out. You might, I can't remember if you are actually attacking, can you keep going when they get to minus 100, or does it automatically end the war if you're the one attack? I don't actually. The last few Stellaris games I've played have been like I play as like inward perfection and just build giant star bases on all of my borders, so I don't
Yeah, no, it hits minus 100 and it just goes to status quo. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's war leaders and non-negotiators, which is kind of interesting too, because all of the war leaders basically have to agree to end the war or capitulate, from what I understand. Which I can think of some situations in which that might be a little bit weird in terms of how that plays out. But then the non-negotiators are like, yeah, we're just there for. I'm curious, since it's just us two here today. Oh, network error. Was that on my end? Okay, good. We're still live.
Okay.
That was just on my browser on my moderator panel. Yeah, I'm curious how everyone in chat feels about this system compared to like the peace and war systems and other Paradox.
I know I like the fact that you can't keep going or keep refusing at minus 100.
Yeah.
I know I have abused that in EU4. A few people that have watched me play EU4 may recognize.
I even remember I remember back before they had the mechanic where if you refuse a peace deal, it just keeps lowering your stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, before they introduced that, it was just like you'd get into a multiplayer match and get really mad and be like, no, I'm never gonna peace out. Never gonna do it.
That's exactly what happens. We have Random John and Valor Game both say they're fans of it. Especially the getting everyone to agree. That's going to be a fun time in multiplayer.
Yeah, having your own like Yalta conference or whatever, where everyone's just debating over what, like, who gets what. Will be pretty entertaining. Yeah, I think that what's even more interesting about how this system works is it's like even if you're winning the war, if you have lost like enough casualties that it's really screwing up your economy, you might just want to peace out because it's, at a certain point it does enough damage to your economy that it's probably not worth it anymore. So
yeah, especially your people are about to revolt because they can't buy enough hair dryers or something.
Yeah, you don't want that. Lord Tataros is saying the prospect of both
Tataris.
Both.
It's a Greek word.
I thought it was Tartarus at first, but it's I would pronounce that Tataros, but that's because I took German.
It's from Greek mythology, but yeah, it's supposed to be an extra R in there from Greek mythology. Tar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it's misspelled Tartarus. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, the fact that both sides can get something is kind of cool. You're doing like this horse trading to end the war. Steve says, one thing I'm not sure of is the no new war goals while at war edict. Definitely not what World War I was like. Yeah, that's, I think, one of the things I'm a little bit skeptical about too. I guess that's, you have to, I guess in the diplomatic play, both sides have to include all their war goals, because once it actually kicks off, they can't add any new ones.
Let's like CK and
Right,
Stellaris.
right. Whereas I think
EU4
I
has
prefer,
always. Hmm?
yeah,
Well, EU4 has just always been unique in letting you, I want to declare war for this county, and then you go to war and you take everything but that county because
right.
why not?
And see, I like the way EU4 does it, where it's like, yeah, you can take whatever you want. There's just going to be a much higher penalty if you take stuff that was
Who
not
cares about
your declared war
overextension?
goal. Yeah,
It's just a
yeah,
number.
yeah. I'm going to be at negative 350 diplomatic power because of all these provinces. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I kind of prefer the way EU4 does it, but yeah, as with a lot of this stuff, we'll have to see how it actually plays out when we actually get to play it. Which I hope is
Hmm.
soon. I hope there's going to be some kind of like a preview build or a beta available for press and stuff. At this point, it's probably not going to be before the end of the year, but maybe like early.
As Agamade is mentioning, Grugi leaving is another big piece of news. We did mention that last week, but Grugi left Paradox. He's now at
Yes,
Ubisoft, and last Friday was his last day.
it was. Yeah,
Mm.
there's been a few people who have left Paradox recently. I don't know if even all of them have been announced yet, but yeah, it seems like
But
it's kind of.
Agamade, who would you kill for a beta?
Who would I kill for a beta?
No,
Well, there's.
Agamade said they would kill for a beta.
Oh, oh, they would kill for a beta. Okay, I thought you were asking me. It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people I would kill to be able to play a video game, but I don't know.
What
Maybe a mass murderer if I was sure they were guilty or something.
about
Um,
Dexter?
You see, he's doing good now though, so I don't know if that would be I don't know if that would be worth it. Um, yeah, we got a couple of teasers as well. So
Though it looks like the Vicky 3 account has taken over Grugi's teasers.
right, right. So we'll still be getting 2 teasers a week, but won't be from Grugi. Tomorrow's Dev Diary is going to cover the topic of technology. Here's a sneak peek of a Texan university which is struggling to hire proper teaching staff. Um, doesn't surprise me that much in the United States that they're struggling to hire teachers because we don't
Well,
pay them enough.
yeah,
Um,
especially Texas.
yeah.
I'm sorry, especially Texas. Well, and
um,
here's the problem. Even where teachers do get paid more, there's so much extra red tape. When I
oh
did my
yeah.
student teaching, about half of her time outside of her non-teaching, whether it was actually supposed to be planning time or just free time, half of it was not just spent making lesson plans and prepping things for the class. It was spent filling out all the additional paperwork,
Hmm.
crossing all the T's, dotting all the
Yeah.
I's.
I've heard that there's like a lot of politics involved in it too, like
Oh yes.
especially at like the higher levels.
Well,
But
there's a reason when I graduated, I decided I'm going to get out of this country. I'm going to go teach overseas.
yeah, yeah, that sounds about right.
Mhm.
So some interesting things we can pull from this. So universities, they consume paper and wages to produce innovation, but also urbanization. So you'll get more urban population. You have
Makes sense. You got to have bars and coffee houses and boarding houses and all that stuff to support all those university students.
right, and then at the bottom they have this vacancies bar, which I'm not sure if that's like is the university actually promoting pops into higher education levels? I'm curious, or I don't know. Is it increasing their literacy? I'm curious what that bar actually
I
means.
don't know. Like the fact it says vacancies, I
Yeah,
guess it could be like the people working there. It could be the students. I don't know.
yeah. I'm trying to remember back the dev diary that they talked about, like potential, potential promotions that is like a thing that's built into a pop. or
We
something.
have Agamede guessing it could be giving Pops qualifications.
Qualifications, that's what they're called. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Such as
Yeah.
before they go through the university, they're uneducated or maybe only like, I guess,
Yeah.
middle school or high school level or something.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because I would doubt that if you had a 6th grade education, you could get into the university.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how it was in 1836, but today that would be
I mean,
an impressive 6th grader if you could pass the entrance exam.
well, the best example, if you like, even of literature you could read nowadays would be the Anne of Green Gables books,
Mm-hmm.
because she does go on to a teaching school and basically gets
Okay.
what we would call like an associate's degree today,
Gotcha.
or it's
Okay.
kind of a high, and she does that, or instead of going to a high school, and then she goes back and teaches in one room schoolhouses.
Interesting. Okay.
And then after that, she goes to a university, gets a 4-year degree, and then goes and teaches, ends up the principal at a high school before she gets married.
Yeah.
And that was set in like the 1870s or 80s.
Okay.
It's a little vague.
Interesting. I'm curious how much we'll actually be able to reform public education, because I know that we can choose like public schools, private schools, or church schools, and then there's like 5 levels of increasing bureaucracy. But as far as like whether you're supporting like vocational schools or like traditional, like developing the traditional like American high school system, I don't know if it'll be that deep.
Well, I mean, our modern high school system didn't really come about until like 40s, 50s.
Oh, really? Oh, it's probably outside the scope of.
And even in more rural areas, like where I used to live in Florida, the northern half of the county was so sparsely populated, that there was actually a K-12 school up there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I never got to do student teaching there, but I know someone who did, and they were like, it was really cute. I was walking through the hallway and I saw a kindergartner stop and ask like one of the 11th or 12th graders where to get to a classroom, and they just took this little kid's hand and directed them to their proper classroom. Like,
that's kind of cool.
They had their own hallways, but this kid got down the wrong hallway.
Did you do the thing in school where you went and like did like a 1-room schoolhouse for a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a field trip like that where we went to an actual historical 1-room schoolhouse, and we had to like write our answers on chalkboards and stuff.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do the full thing. It was oh, I think it was when I lived in Iowa. We went to, because Herbert Hoover's from Iowa, if anyone doesn't know, good old Herbert Hoover, the president.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually buried on a hill that looks down over, and you can see the farmhouse he was born in.
Oh, wow.
But he was part of like a Quaker society, and they still had like, they had moved the prayer house and the schoolhouse and stuff to be around there.
Well, thanks for the 8-month sub, by the way.
Thank you. Remember, you can sub. We just need to, maybe if enough people sub, we can actually get Loris to make the emotes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're kind of at a point where like we can like barely cover some of the hosting costs, but which is cool because it means we're not paying out of pocket for it. We always appreciate our subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah. The other teaser that we got was from Martin, and
Germany.
He showed a map of Germany and to ask if anybody could name all the little countries, which I would be very surprised if anyone could.
Oh, I'm sure someone could. I'm sure.
This is Schaumburg.
You're talking about the PDX fandom.
Yeah,
here.
I'm sure there's somebody. I'm sure there are people who will listen to this that could. This is one of the smallest countries in Europe. Apparently, they used to make political cartoons making fun of how small they were. I guess they're saying that this wagon here is the entire country of Lippe Schaumburg. This guy looks like he looks very modern to me for some reason. I guess because that style of facial hair has like come back into into fashion in some places. Like he looks like he could be like
Yeah,
a biker or something. Yeah.
yeah, he looks like he belongs on a Harley Davidson with
Yeah.
leathers.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. 23.8K population. Not sure there's much you can do with that. They're struggling. Don't have much arable land. I'm curious what kind of achievements are they gonna have for countries like this? Can you turn Schaumburg Lippe into a great power? Is that even possible?
I mean, it could be the next three mountains.
Yeah, yeah. They at least have a pretty high literacy rate, and they're in Europe, so they're at least a
And
recognized country.
will one of them be the new Ulm
Yeah, is
or
Ulm
Tanatuva?
did Ulm still exist as 1830? I want to look that up real quick.
Was Ulm in Vicky too? Sure, someone can answer that pretty quick.
Don't think so.
Lord Tatar said Ulm should be around. Syrian says there should be an achievement calling paying lip service.
That's good. That's good. Let's see. Oh, they joined the German Confederation in the mid-19th century, it says. In 1810, Ulm was incorporated into the Kingdom of Württemberg and lost its districts on the other bank of the Danube, which is now Neu-Ulm. Okay, so I guess they probably would not be independent at the start of the game.
So who will be the new Ulm?
I don't know.
I'm guessing it could be this. It could be Schaumburg, but it doesn't have the same like ring as Ulm.
No,
A
not
single
really.
syllable.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a major news from Agma Day here.
Yeah.
He shared an image in chat. Here, I'll just drop it over in the Discord for you.
Oh, is that new?
Yeah, they changed the date setup at the top. According to him. I don't remember what it was before, but apparently it's changed.
Is it that they're putting the month first?
Agma Day, do you have a screenshot of what it showed before?
I mean, I know the clock is new, and I know that like the thing that says like Thursday evening, the bar is new. Yeah, I don't know if did you guys talk at all about the new Steam screenshots last week?
No,
because they released quite a few of them. I actually did a comparison of the detail levels. I actually
Victoria 2 is $5 right now.
Hey, that's very worth it, I would say. If you're only going to play it for a little bit.
And it's currently, is that permanent?
Yeah.
Or no, it's 75% off right now. So yeah, guys, if you want Vicky 2 and you don't have it, you can pick it up for $5. Or you can buy the entire Victoria collection for $17.05. 69% off. Nice.
Amazing. Amazing. There we go. So this is going to be Britain. This is EU4. And then this is Crusader Kings 3, where I have labeled the towns that are also labeled in the Victoria screenshot. And then here's Victoria 3. So it looks like it's not a lot bigger. Like the actual map area, I don't think is significantly bigger. But there's a lot more like terrain detail. You can see a lot more like hills and trees, stuff like that.
It's pretty.
Yeah, CK3 looks a little bit more flat, and then obviously the dynamic urbanization stuff. The one where you can really tell the difference is Japan. This is Japan in EU4. There's Tokyo Bay over here, and then this is Japan in Victoria 3. So this little peninsula right here is the same as this little peninsula right there.
I'm sorry, EU4 is just not holding up to CK3 and Vicky 3.
It really doesn't anymore. Let me see. I did one for Africa. I don't have CK3 on here because if you zoom out too far in CK3, it just turns into political map mode. But here's West Africa in EU4, and then here it is in 3. This mountain range right here is the same as this mountain range right there, so you could see the difference in detail level. And excuse me, Lake
Syrian wants you to look up CK2.
CK2? In what area? In
Because that doesn't have that part of Africa. I guess maybe England.
Yeah, that would look even more janky than before, I think.
We could pull up Imperator.
And then here's the Imperator would be an interesting comparison because Imperator might actually be more detailed than Wiki 3, at least in the in development screenshots. But here's Tehran, here's northern Iran in E4. Here it is in CK3, and then here it is in Wiki 3. See, this sort of little mountain pass right here is the same as where this road kind of goes along. So yeah, it's not significantly bigger is the thing that kept jumping out at me. Like, I think the different distance from Tehran to Kashan might actually be smaller than it is from Ray to Kashan in CK3 if you actually like measured pixel by pixel how much space there is on the map, but there's definitely a lot more detail. And this is still under development, and they said the map is one of the last things they're going to finalize.
Now, had I been a PDX employee suggesting you look up Japan CK3, that would have been the leak of the century.
Yeah. Let me just load
up. No, it wouldn't be Japan and
CK3.
It'd be Sengoku 2.
Yeah, I hope they do add Japan to CK. Yeah. And yeah, there's like several new Native American nations that they showed off in these screenshots too. They have the Utes on there. They have the Arapaho and Iron Confederacy up in the north, and the Sioux Nation. So I like that those are being represented. I'm kind of bummed you can't play them at launch, but eventually, hopefully.
I would hope that every nation that you can't play at launch will eventually be added.
Yeah, I think that's their intention.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some pretty pictures. I think there's another way we're going to be able to take some pictures in the future, though, which we got a little bit of a teaser of this week.
That is true. We did get a teaser for good old CK3.
Yeah. What are
though I don't think it's as cool as my teaser.
No, probably not. No, I think yours was a little more exciting. This is pretty cool, but
so for CK3, we're getting to find out that we can take other angled pictures in the courtroom.
Yeah. So there's a
essentially
full photo mode. I'm a little bit disappointed it's not like there's not like a free camera option.
Yeah, I saw several comments on that. And also, there's a comment. Apparently, they got the calligraphy in the Islamic court written in the wrong direction.
Oh, did they?
So, that's going to be fixed. Apparently, we have Carlberg commenting, we'll make the relevant people aware of that.
Yeah. You want to, let's see, that's Mediterranean.
And it looks like there's 7 different angles.
Yeah. There's one that,
I can just counting the dots right there above, like right wall view. There's like 7 dots.
Yeah, I'm curious why they couldn't do a free camera, if it's like something that's a technical limitation or I don't know. But it is cool to have a photo mode. I like
maybe it was too easily going through walls and stuff.
Yeah, maybe they don't want people like clipping into stuff and taking like weird photos that way, but still I don't know. Maybe
we do have Carlberg saying the cameras are quite moddable. They can be set to appear in the drop-down list of the photo mode with a setting.
Okay, interesting. I'm curious if you could actually mod in a free camera.
And screenshots are not saved to your Steam folder. They're saved to Documents, PDX, and then CK3 folder.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be cool to be able to pose the people. Hey, let's all cross our fingers that Agama Day merges this with his full barbershop.
Yeah, the new full screen barbershop mod is very good. So if you haven't checked that out, you definitely
Yes, you did do an update for that this week, didn't you, Agama Day, where you can do other. Oh, what was it? I saw your tweet on it. I read the tweet, and now my brain is blank. I swear, it's the pregnancy brain already, which now I can talk about. I've been having that issue for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, you couldn't even blame the baby before. Yeah.
No, though that channel in my Discord has now been changed by my mods to blame the heirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Background lighting. Okay. And visual trait. That was it. Visual traits. You can add or take them off now.
This is also, I think, the most detailed look we've gotten at the Royal Court so far. Like, even since the last time they showed these off, there's a lot of new stuff we've got.
And we're getting to see a lot of the different courts.
Yeah, so here's the European one. This is the Mediterranean one. Like, this is, I think, what the Byzantines use. And then...
it's like an Indian...
Eastern, yeah, which is used for India and some of the other Eastern realms out there. I really like the throne in the Indian one. It's hard to like zoom in and see all the detail, but it's the throne, the Indian throne is very cool looking. And then like all the designs on the walls, which presumably will look less worn out once you start to increase your grandeur level. And yeah, the Islamic one is also very cool. I love medieval Islamic architecture. Very visually.
They knew how to build it beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah.
There's the very last image, there's a poor animal pelt on the wall.
Yeah. I guess if you're a hunter or something, or maybe the adventurers play into that. Also, I can't tell if that's a crown or a bowl or both.
I thought it was a crown.
It is wrong. Maybe it's. I mean, maybe it's a. You can use it as either one. You can put it on your head, or you could eat out of it.
But can you pet the pelt? That's a good question.
Yeah.
You'd have to be kind of tall. If you're a dwarf, I don't think you could do it.
Wonder. Yeah, that would be like really messed up if they let you like taxidermy your pets after they died. It's like a relic that you could put on display, or your loved ones. What was the one?
Wasn't that in the Renaissance?
Yeah.
That crazy duke, that king of Sicily, like taxidermied all those people and put them in a Last Supper pose.
Yeah, I just want I want to be able to make my.
That was so creepy in the Borgias, and both versions of the Borgias, the European and the HBO one. Yeah. That was such a creepy thing. Oh.
It's
Also, if you want really dark, very historical Renaissance nonsense and torture and all that stuff, then the European Borgias. The HBO one is sensationalizing things. The European one,
I don't think I've seen the European version. Is it in Italian or is it in English?
No, it's in English.
Okay.
They've got a bunch of actors from all over.
Okay.
It is, there's scenes that happen in the town square, and there's people getting the pear of anguish in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shock for those of us not used to things being quite that historically accurate.
The Borgias were kind of messed up.
Well, this was just laws. It's just happening in the background. It's not the Borgias doing it directly.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like, oh yeah, it's the time to punish the people today. So
yeah. Well, that might watching that might reduce.
Oh yeah, it's a French, German, Czech, Italian historical drama.
Okay, all right. So very multinational production staff.
Yes, starring John Doman, Mark Ryder, Stanley Weber. I don't know any of these people, but yeah.
Watching that might reduce your faith in humanity if you want to restore your faith in humanity a little bit.
You just have to see the image that they have. Like,
Yeah.
what do you? Yeah, that's like their cover art.
Oh, is it in chat? Let me see.
Yeah, it's in the chat in the Discord.
That looks like that actually is like it looks like a ad for like a video game or something. Just
I
the
mean,
bright colors.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
compared to the the American version.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's a lot darker. Here, I'll put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually very funny.
I'm sorry, I couldn't pass up the transition. So there's the European one that he
Yeah.
just put up. She just put up. Yeah, he is. He looks like he's trying to be a martyr or something.
It's very very colorful.
Yes, and then the blood dripping down the
Mhm.
steps, and oh, yeah. And then we have the American version.
Yeah, that's
Just
more like what I would expect, like an HBO show poster
yes.
to look like.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I never finished either series. But yeah.
understandable.
Okay. We were going somewhere else, weren't we?
Humankind has a free demo now.
Yes.
um,
They do have a free demo, which lets you play for 100 turns, and you can do it as many times as you want. And let's say you play it and you get the 100 turns and you decide, I want to buy the game.
mhm.
Well, you can transfer your save file over when you buy the
Yeah,
game.
that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's seamless like that, and it's a pretty significant portion of the game too to just give you for free to play as much as you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're not sure if you want to commit
Drop
to it,
the
yeah,
50, $60 on it.
you can you can play the first
So
100 turns.
this is cool. So Humankind has their standard and their digital deluxe, like, a lot of other games do. But they also just have the digital deluxe upgrade. So if you buy the standard, you can just upgrade it if you want to.
Yeah, that's always nice. I like it when they do that and make it
Mm-hmm.
available later. I don't know. CK3 still hasn't made like the Abbasid court like clothes and stuff available separately yet, have
Right.
they?
And that used to break hot potato saves.
Oh no.
Actually,
Uh
no, it still does.
does it really?
So I was part of the there's a grand campaign going on. They call it the lesser grand campaign.
Mhm.
And they're on EU4 now. But they started with CK3 and I started the game. And then Oxy-kun was the next person to play it. And then I think it went myself and Oxy-kun again. And then they had someone else play it, but that person didn't have the original with the Abbasids. And so
Oh.
they couldn't host it. They had to
That's
have someone
right.
else host it, and they jumped in to play.
I remember I think we discussed this on a previous episode at some
Mm-hmm. So they worked around it by turning it into a multiplayer, but this grand campaign. These people are voted, and there's parties and there's senates, like bills and things that they're doing. I'll throw a link to chat if anyone wants to check it out. It's pretty cool. But they're on EU4 now. They have plans to go all the way up to Stellaris. They
Wow.
have people set up to stream it every time. Um, it's a lot of fun. Like, gotta tell you, playing CK3 with my hands tied on certain things. Like, we could not raise levies unless we are outnumbered 3-1, or the entire country was going to get eaten in a holy war and we had to defend ourselves. Like,
Wow.
it was very strict, and it was definitely a different way to play.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I love
Mhm.
putting more restrictions on myself. You're going to be part of another big stream this weekend, though,
Yes.
right? If I am
Yes,
not
they
mistaken.
actually the perfect segue for that would have been the Grand Campaign asked me if I could play EU4 this weekend for them, or then they asked Benjamin Magnus as well. And both of us had to tell them no, because there's an EU4 Land Party happening this weekend, and I'm
Yeah.
one of the people hosting and commentating for it.
So what's your role gonna be while you're for this stream?
So I will be streaming with Mordred Viking. We all know him. Awesome dude.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he, uh, yes. So Mordred
He's
Viking.
okay. No.
So Mordred Viking and I will be hosting. I will be the primary host, and he will be the person looking out for the map and catching all the interesting stuff to bring to the attention for us to talk about. And he'll be doing a lot of talking himself, of course. But he'll be in charge of catching the interesting bits.
This is the part I didn't know about before, is that there's some sort of prophecy
I have
happening
not been told.
about a
I will have to discover
great
that as
war.
y'all do.
Yeah, so it might be more than just like a vanilla EU4 campaign.
But yes,
But
Flurry Worry is on there. He is
mhm.
streaming with Benjamin Magnus, I believe. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm
63
allowed to say
people.
who else is on there, but the
They have listed, I think, all the casters, or at
what did
least
they?
the image I'm looking at has Benjamin Magnus, Bjorn B, Adaway, you, Flurry Worry, Midge, Mordred, and Count Christo.
Yes, that's it. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's all been announced. Yeah.
That image was not up there the last time I looked.
So yeah.
See schedule. Yep, there we go.
So and this is in
Where is it? Schedule.
it's EU4land.com slash
Oh yeah, we're all there at the top.
hashtag event schedule. Yeah.
I see that. They always
Yeah.
leave the 4 off my name.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that
Which I
is.
think if someone just looks for Enigmatic Rose on Twitter, I just come up. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, good, cool. You have won the SEO battle for that.
Well, the reason I'm an Enigmatic Rose 4 is when I tried to create my Gmail account years ago, there was
Mhm.
already an Enigmatic Rose. But I think I've pretty much drowned this person out on the internet, so
Well done. Well done. Yeah. You own it now. They're out of luck. So it's 9:30 a.m. CET, so that'll be what,
oh, good lord.
middle of the night US time, basically.
So
When
it
it starts.
starts at 3:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, yeah. So it's not the most convenient time for North America, but you can at least probably catch. It runs all day
Yeah,
long. So.
so the start off for we all had 2.5 hour slots.
Mhm.
So starting off, we have our good old Europeans, Midge and Bjorn. So they're not going to be put out by the time.
Right, right.
And then we have Christo and Attaway, who also I don't think will be too put out by the time.
And it ends at like what, 4 p.m. Eastern. So like catching
4:30, 4 p.m., 4
yeah.
p.m. Yeah.
So it'll be convenient for North American people to watch the end of it at least.
I will be taking over at 11:30 Eastern time on both Saturday and Sunday. It's the same schedule.
Nice.
So if you just want to tune in to see me,
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'll probably have that
Mhm.
on in the background this weekend. Stuff. Um, is there anything else as far as where people can find you lately?
Just Twitch. I've been playing some Stardew. I played some EU4 last week. I planned to play it last night, but did not feel good. um,
Yeah.
it now I can say it, but I've not been having morning sickness. I've been having evening sickness, which
Oh,
is why my
really?
streams have been spotty all over the place. Like every time I've thrown up, it's been in the evening. It's not been pleasant.
That does not sound like a lot of.
No,
No.
no, 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 no. So yeah,
Well, I
that's
hope.
been it.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, and then Twitter. Cute pictures of the
Right.
Rosebud trying to use the Oculus.
Nice. I'm
What have you
curious.
been up to, Leanna?
I was gonna say I'm curious, like what that will like kids who grow up with VR. I wonder if that'll like change the way that they think about like
He's never been allowed to wear
reality
the
and stuff.
headset, but he sees his appa playing it.
Yeah, yeah. Like even like I would say like once they get old enough, I wonder if just kids that like had VR available as a kid will
Mm-hmm.
think
I
differently.
don't know. Well, I mean,
Um,
he already knows to sit at my computer and that we can pull up games and how to put on the headset and stuff.
nice.
Like, it's kind of spooky.
Yeah, yeah. It's like every generation is like better at technology. One that came before.
He knows that both the TV remote and the actual TV where the power buttons are on all three TVs in the house.
Well, I know he's turned off your microphone several
Yes, well,
times while we've been
part of that
recording
is
this.
because the button
Uh-huh.
for the mute is a bright red
Yeah.
that blinks when it's muted, and I think he
Yeah.
likes seeing it blink.
I wish that the button the mute button on the Yeti wasn't so loud. Because it kind
Yeah.
of defeats the purpose of having a mute button if it's like super loud every time you mute and unmute yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
VR for GSG? Which game? I know the Resident Evil 4, my husband's been loving playing that. I've never played any of
Oh,
the Resident Evil
that
games,
would
but
be a
he
fun
has.
VR game.
Oh, well, that's what's on Oculus, and that's what he plays is Resident Evil
Yeah.
4. I have to say, it's quite funny yelling at him because you have to escort like the president's daughter or something.
Yeah.
And when you get attacked, she just like ducks and
Uh-huh.
crouches into a ball.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
him just like flailing off. He was deliberate flailing with his guns and different weapons and shouting at her to move it.
Yeah.
Like the
Good old
funniest video that I
Ashley.
can never
Yeah.
share.
Go hide in a dumpster while I fight these zombies.
Yes. Don't
Yeah.
crouch right in front of me.
It's a classic. I love Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I am working on two previews right now that the audience of this podcast will definitely be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
It's related to announcements happening at the Game Awards. So if you are watching those, uh, there's strategy news happening. That's probably all I can say. And
Well, Sarah says you can tell us.
if you if you choose not to watch them, which understandably enough, since it is kind of like a 2-hour commercial basically, you probably go on my Twitter, until Folkvong, and I will post the article versions on there. Yeah,
If you don't have time to watch the full 2 hours.
right. Or like if you're just interested in, okay, what are the new strategy games being announced, I don't want to watch this entire long presentation just to find that out. But there's more than one thing. There's more than one thing being announced that will be very interesting to strategy fans.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, look forward to that. And
Maybe we'll get a Vicky 3 release date.
maybe. I haven't heard if Paradox is involved at all with I know there was like that
So
leaked date,
what you're
but
talking about is not a PDX game.
it's not PDX or neither of them are PDX related.
There you go, Sarion. I kind of got a little bit out of her.
uh damn it. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know if Paradox is doing anything with the Game Awards at all. If they are, I haven't heard about it. So that only narrows it down to every other strategy game developer in the universe.
Well, I mean, we know Groogy moved to Ubisoft, so maybe they're putting out a grand strategy game.
Has Ubisoft ever done like a strategy game before? I don't know if
I don't
they've ever
know.
done like a proper strategy game.
I don't feel like they have, or if they have, it was a big flop, so we've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Ackman wants to know that the games have war in the title or hammer.
No. Although they did publish the Slaanesh trailer for Total War Warhammer 2 this week.
Ooh, And I would just like to mention as well, if you're watching the EU4 Land Party this weekend, you can totally play EU4 for free all weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was right on the schedule we were both looking at. And there's going to be raffles in the Discord for EU4.
I saw that they mentioned raffles.
The
I didn't know what
PDX
they were for, though.
discord.gg/PDX.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I'm in that one.
So,
GG/PDX. Yep, that is the PDX Interactive server, which was the PDXCon server.
And then also, as far as what Lambert has been up to, I don't know if you showed the picture last week, but I did want to show his beautiful picture of why he's been a little bit under the weather as well. Which is,
yeah, no, he didn't share that picture.
Yeah, so this is normal teeth, and then this is Lambert's teeth. So as you can see, one of them is bad because it has an X on it. So this is
and the gates look like the Oblivion
yes
logo. Or the gates, the roots.
So yeah, that's very technical. You kind of have to be a dentist to interpret this. But yeah, I think that'll probably do it for this week. We'll be back next week for our last show of 2021.
Which will be episode 99.
Yeah, so our first episode back in the new year will be episode 100. So we might, if there's still not a lot of news, we might devote some extra time to like listener questions.
Yeah.
I want to think about some of those.
Questions. What were our worst and best moments?
Yeah. Next year,
where does the black hole reference come from?
I guess people who have been listening since the beginning might know where that's from, but I feel like a lot of people probably not around for that.
Either listening from the beginning or people who hang out a lot in my Discord or my chat might know.
Yeah. Yep. I'm on your Discord.
Yes, you are finally on my Discord.
Yeah. So
I tagged you for the announcement today. About us going live, yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.